One of the things that we need to be really careful about is this idea of that we're done, right? Or that there's some kind of that we finished and that there's victory and we don't need to do anything anymore. It's just started. If you think that the left is going to take kindly to this takeover, if you think the left is going to take kindly to this, if you think the left is going to be okay with just giving up control of Twitter, you got another thing coming. They're not going to be. And so I cautioned everyone in this piece yesterday. I said, look, tyrants always get dirty when they hit back, and they're gonna be dirty again. They will. This is just the first. The battle for the digital public square has only just begun. Now, that was Jen Psaki talking about Biden's concern. I want to play cut 5 for you. And this is what I want to explore a little bit here, because this is one. How many times has she said this? I went back and I didn't want to get all the audio and play it. There's like 3 separate times during 3 separate press availabilities that she has said that they've reached out to social media companies, or they've asked, or they've talked, or something like that. And I thought, and that's, and you should definitely have legitimate concerns about that. She says it again here yesterday. Just listen to what she says.
Well, I think we engage regularly with all social media platforms about steps that can be taken. That has continued, and I'm sure it will continue. But there are also reforms that we think Congress could take.
Yeah. What reforms? Oh, how much you want to bet it's Section 230? How you want to bet? Do you want to bet? Kane wants to bet. He thinks it's going to be Section 230. He thinks that it's going to be like a fight over that. I don't disagree with you. I tend to think that that's what they're going to try to redefine. Right now, they're just sort of getting it together. The board tried everything that they could to thwart this. They even tried to diminish the value of their own stock. They tried to poison themselves. Didn't work. So now you have very, very great concern from the left about what tech platforms can do. You remember the audio that we played of Barack Obama? Did we play this, Kane, last week, or was it? Yeah, we didn't play it yesterday. It was last week, where he gave a speech at, at Stanford? He was at Stanford, and he was on this disinformation forum. He was at this disinformation forum, and he was speaking about the responsibility of tech companies. And now that I look back on it, I'm like, dude, he knew that this deal was going to go through. He knew this was going to happen. And so he's trying to navigate and get in a position where the left can be on, offense on this instead of on defense. The left does not like being on defense. They're horrible on defense. Republicans aren't great on defense either. But the left they always choose offense. And when they choose offense, they're not necessarily great at it either, because they overplay their hand. When Republicans play offense, it is stunning. I just have to sit back. When everyone really gets their ducks in a row and gets on the same page with strategy, I'm not saying ideologically. You don't have to agree with 100% of everything the party thinks, but when they're at least 80%, it's a beautiful thing to behold. So I think Barack Obama knew. He knew what was coming. Now, here's what's interesting. When she talks about they're worried about how the platform, what does it mean for free speech? What it means for free speech is that, well, they're not worried about free speech. They're worried about their ability to censor. Media Research Center, through CensorTrack, discovered that criticism of Biden on Twitter was censored any criticism of him. It was censored 646 times in 2 years. 140 cases specifically were related to the Hunter Biden laptop story, and several that blamed the president for inflation. Anything that blamed Joe Biden for inflation was censored. God bless America. Look at that. Something to behold. Users who posted this content saw their comments deleted, had their activities on platforms restricted, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that's not a surprise, but, you have, it's measurable is the thing. It's measurable. And so, not only that, now you have these human rights groups, some of the reaction. They're raising concerns over hate speech. I don't want to hear a single damn thing from any of these people on hate speech. CNN posted a story about this. They said, they quoted, I don't know who some broad who wrote an opinion. She writes on CNN, I predict that allowing harmful forms of free speech like misogyny and hate on Twitter will actually have the effect of silencing many people and will be disastrous for the network. You're a pansy. Cara Alamano, you're an absolute pansy. So is anyone else who's talking about this. If you want to see hate, misogyny, and all of that other stuff, maybe you should check out my timeline sometime. Here's the thought. Maybe you should have checked out my timeline during CNN's little town hall where they pulled that stunt with Sheriff Scott Israel and me. Maybe you should check out my timeline anytime after that or anytime before that or anytime there's a mass casualty incident or anytime that I draw a distinction between the male and female genders. Why don't you go look not just at my timeline, but the timeline of any conservative woman that dares to raise her voice against the narrative pushed by the left? And you know what? We don't cower. We don't go hide in some dark corner. We stay where we are. And if y'all pansies want to leave Twitter, don't let the door hit you where the Lord split you. Get on out. Don't care.